Okay guys, this is a film. I'm going to show you one of my wheat fields. The wind is going to be kind of bad with the camera. Last night I woke up this morning and we had 1.5 inches of rain, and that was very pleasant. So when I got done making that film the other day, cultivating, went on with the rest of my day, went and checked the cows, came back later in the afternoon, and boy, the corn had curled and it looked like I had just about killed the corn. So we were right at the razor's edge of running out of moisture. And one of the things I mentioned in the other film was I was afraid that the baby clover was dying in the wheat, because I was coming out here during the heat of the day, and if you can see the clovers there, oh, they're right on the razor's edge. Right on the razor's edge of dying. This is bottom ground, so the clover here, it might survive and it might be saved. There's little baby clovers everywhere, and you can see the amount of stress in them. But anyway, on the hills, walked out in the fields today, and the clover has pretty much died. So the couple things we was going to talk about today was perseverance. After I had the day where I had the heart attack of coming close to killing the corn in the heat and the dry, well, I waited a day, and then a day later, which was yesterday, I went and I cultivated the rest of the corn. Spent the day cultivating corn after I saw that the corn had survived overnight. We had a little bit of a foggy, cool weather, and they went out the next day. I guess that was Thursday, and the corn looked okay. So on Friday I went ahead and cultivated the rest of the 1st of May corn, and kind of glad I did, because Friday night, in the middle of the night, we had 1.5 inches of rain. So anyway, the wheat here, looking at the wheat, I'm right next to the forest here, and that's why the wheat is looking thin. But it was the only place where I could get out of the wind. Off in the distance, you can see it was too late for the wheat that was on the higher ground. A bunch of that, the heads are already dead, and the spikelets are splaying out. And when the spikelets, like your fingers, when they splay out, the head is done, and all that's left is for the wheat to dry down to where you can combine it. Here, closer to the forest, the wheat's a little bit of greener, and it will be able to take on some of that moisture and actually, help the wheat a little bit, test weight and the size of the berries. But the wheat was pretty much done. So there's the wheat behind me. It's not looking a whole lot better. Right here is an old river channel. I'm in the low bottom and right next to the river, and there is an old river channel. So I'm standing in the old river channel. That's why the wheat all around me looks nice and green. It was able to hold on a little bit longer in this lowest part of the bottoms. If you had a dew, the dew would settle, or the cool air would settle in the lowest part of the bottom. But anyway, the good news today is right there on the ground. The baby clovers here have survived, and the clover here will be the feed for the cows next year, and so it's kind of critical for us. And last week I was planning strategies of what I would do if this clover died, whether I would come back this fall and try and interseed some new clover if the rains finally came this fall, or what I was going to do, because you're always farming a little bit in advance. You're always looking towards the future. You're always wondering, how do I deal with what we're dealing with, so that, a month from now I can feed the cows and pay the bills and take care of the farm. But anyway, boy, 1.5 inches of rain in a wheat field. That dry weather, this wheat would have given me something of a crop even if it hadn't rained. And that's one of the reasons you plant wheat. For a while there last week, I was thinking that our cows were going to have to eat silage and straw next winter, because because that was looking like that was going to be the main thing we had. But inch and a half of rain, so the clover I made will get regrowth on that clover. Hopefully enough for another cutting of hay, and the alfalfa we'll be able to get at least one more cutting of alfalfa. So you gotta persevere, guys. You gotta keep your faith, and you gotta keep moving forward. So thanks, guys.